Good morning, brothers, sisters. I'm going to have a talk with the FTFE science, but he's going to set his stuff up, so he'll be back here in a minute. But I have fun with this. See what physical proof shows and go with what science says, That's all we can do. Like the thumbnail, gotta actually go out there and look. I used to be a space junkie, used to look up the astronauts. It's a joke now. I didn't realize I was talking to FTFE just a bit ago. We're gonna see what happens. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh, gotta laugh. That's funny right there. Uh, that's funny right there. Lord, let me be humble. Let me be humble, Lord. No pride involved. Just want to enjoy talking the truth. There's the truth we've learned. There's the truth we've been told. Because I will say this for when we all get started. But that is funny right there. That is funny right there. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Lord, let me be humble. Keep my flesh out of it. No pride involved at all. Just your word, your truth. Yeah, because physical proof of the truth. Yes, it's a rock. You see, these mountains are made up of tectonic plates. Right here, proof says no, they're made up of trees. But wow, all these intros. I ain't putting down or nothing. But wow, I like. Yeah, see, we can look at space right here, man. I mean, it's all CGIs. There you go. That's what the Earth looks like. Let's see, everything's going right. He's muted. I guess he muted himself. So, see if he unmutes himself.
Okay, hello, big pig
He's doing
slapper
this.
Oink. I am here. How are you?
What's going on? Doing good, doing good. Yeah, yeah. Let's just have some fun. Present the physical proof. Because see, just like science books that were written by a
Okay.
man, we're never going to meet. We've never seen. We just get images of who they say that man is, just like the religious guy. The man they proclaim as Jesus Christ, that ain't Jesus Christ. That's one of the second Pope's son, Caesar Bulgaria or something. Because we all learn from a book some man wrote. We've never seen, we're never going to meet. We just got to trust what's in them books. Let's see what I found in my book. You mind if I go ahead and start? You got anything to
No,
say?
would you mind first, just for the sake of the people watching on my side, would you mind just telling them why you became a flat earther, and then we can get
Yeah,
into any of the discussion that you like? Is that okay?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back late 2016, mid 2016, up somewhere in 2017, I heard about flat Earth. I think people are stupid. There's no way the Earth is flat. Dad was in the Air Force. I always wanted to fly an Air Force jet. Then I started, the astronauts are awesome. They get to go places nobody's ever going to get to go. So, I was a space junkie. Heard about flat Earth, and this fella come on and said Bible verses that prove flat Earth. I'm like, whoa, here, buddy. You claiming the Bible? You best show me. I was talking to the video. I'll be doggone. He showed me. And I didn't pull up Ezekiel, but you can look it up. Enoch. We're going to look at some mountains. We're told tectonic plates cause mountains. The Bible says there's trees that reached up to the heavens, thousands of feet, maybe miles wide. I'm going to look at some of them. But I just want to present what I physically went out and seen and compare it with my textbook to the textbook we all wrote up. All right, that's all I got to say.
So it would be fair to say that the reason you're a flat earther is mostly religious.
No, not religious. I'm not religious because I've seen
Well,
religion
based on the
YouTube.
Bible. Okay, well, would it be better to say it's based on the Bible? Yeah.
Yes. Based on,
Okay.
let's go one step further. Based on the Word of God. The Bible is flawed, deeply. Lies,
I'm aware.
deception, scattered throughout that book. Catholics gave us the book in the Council of Nicaea. Catholics decided what was in that book. The very same Catholic every church uses across this country, I know, uses the very same doctrine. All across it, they just drag out different things they want to believe out of that book. But if you search the words of God in John and Matthew and Revelation, you can see the Word of God in that Bible. The Bible is not the Word of God. That's why I do not claim religion, because I've seen religion on YouTube, and the religion on YouTube,
Okay. And you understand, for the purposes of the conversation, obviously, I don't have a belief in God.
yes.
So I base my positions on empirical evidence and things that I have tested myself and seen and experienced throughout my life.
Yes, sir. I don't.
Yeah. So okay, but yeah, feel free to present what you like, and then we can discuss it.
Now, y'all say, when I say y'all, I call them globies. Well, I say globe shields, but I ain't gonna say that. Talk to you globies. They say 3 miles, a boat starts going out of our sight. But yet a mountain, when you do the math, should be out of our sight. We're gonna look at the proof of what we're told. Okay, a boat standing at sea level, yeah, I know, 3 miles. And I know about the tangents. I understand that too. Now, 3 miles, a boat goes out of our sight, starts to go out of our sight. Here's all, you can do all that. The math, yeah, I understand this. There's the 8 inches 8 inches times a mile squared. We get all that. We understand this is supposed to be the drop in feet and miles in 100 miles. All right. We understand all that. We all agree on this.
Well, when you say the drop, what it means is from a tangent point of the surface, of course.
Yeah, an arc. Because the way the globe is made up, we're always in the center of the curve, because it's a constant curve. So I'm gonna use car lingo here too. Like I said before we was talking, I understand physics and weight because it's not a quote planet, but we're orbiting at a very high rate of speed. All right, I understand it's in the ballpark, and a globe is a constant curve. Wherever you're standing on this supposed globe, we're in the center of the curve. So if we're standing where we are and we're 90 degrees to the ground,
we're always at the top of the globe. Yeah.
We're going to use it now. We're looking.
Yeah. Rather than say the center of the curve, the correct way to say it would be that wherever we are standing for us is the top. Even though top isn't right because there's no up and down in space, But okay, that's fair enough. And the correct numbers when we're talking about curve obviously would be 1 degree per 69 miles, right? That you understand that?
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah. See, I'm not looking down. When I was saying I'm standing, I'm in the apex of the curve. I'm 90. My feet are parallel. My eyes. Parallel. Yeah. My eyes are running with supposedly the ground under. I'm looking 90 degrees from the ground I'm standing on. I'm looking at it right angle. Well, actually, I'm looking at the same angle. You know what I'm talking about. My eyes are pointing straight out. I'm not looking down. Now, in 120 miles, we're gonna go look at the math. Let's go look at the math from. Let's see. We understand that. All right, here, 2,500 foot up. We're gonna get to the tangent here in a minute too. I'm 2,500 foot up on the observation tower. That's from sea level. 120-mile distance.
Yeah.
I can click easy. I got different tabs. All right, let me get this open. All right. Yeah, I've already got that one. Talking about, and here's the tangent. Here's the tangent. I don't know why it didn't make it no bigger, but you divide that, well, a little over half, 61 miles, they say, is the horizon line. Now, it says here, I wish it would show the picture, because it says hidden height is still 2,300 foot. So even when I'm 2,500 foot up, there's 2,303 foot of missing objects beyond the curvature of the Earth, supposed. It's like this. See, over here, I hope it shows that picture better. So, see, I wish it would show that picture. I might have to post these pictures individually. So, Mount Mitchell, we're fixing to look at Mount Mitchell, North Carolina. 120 miles away. This is where the sample, well, that's the picture of the picture. That's the little plaque there on the top of the observation tower. 120 miles away. And if you do the math, as it is at sea level, it comes up to 120 times 120 times 8 divided by 12, 9,600 foot from sea level.
And what height was this taken?
I was at 2,500 foot where this picture is taken.
Right.
And we're
so
looking at 120
okay.
miles. We're looking at 120 miles from Mount Mitchell.
And what are the refractive conditions that you're in? The temperature gradient, the pressure gradient. Have you taken that into account so we can figure out what the path of light is doing?
It was. I wasn't about to die sweating, so it was fall.
Okay, but what I mean is, were you aware of the difference in temperature and pressure between where you are and the target thing you're looking at? Because any variations in the temperature as you're going along will affect the refractive conditions. So, of course, when we're looking at observations like this, we have to know what the atmospheric and refractive conditions are so that we can calculate what the path of light should be doing. Because, yeah, you're right. The things you're showing are based on a globe Earth of an expected radius, but the calculations you've done don't include any kind of refractive conditions, which are extremely important because our atmosphere is extremely refractive. And I know when you talk about the amount of missing drop as you go further, it seems more and more. But the way to think about it is what the light is actually having to do. And let's say something is 69 miles away from you. All that light has to do is bend 1 degree for you to be able to see it. So that observation you said was what, 120 miles away?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, the light, the curve between you is about 2 degrees. So for the light to go from one point to the other, it only has to bend about a 2-degree arc to be able to go from that position to your eyes. And that's totally normal on Earth with an atmosphere, with a gradient that we have.
Yeah. It was very nice across the state for this time of year, unless they send a hurricane there next to the mountain. It is nice statewide. Yeah, atmosphere is probably the same here as it was. They're a bit higher up. But no, that 2 degrees ain't going to change a couple thousand foot. Because see, Mount Mitchell is not as tall as the curvature. So it would be behind the Earth.
Okay, I see the confusion.
No should be,
so
there's no, because now look, now if I'm here, now I'm at the top of the curve. Now it's still curving. That means it's behind the curve and not even be in the spectrum of light I'm looking, because the light apparently by the globe, the sun has to go around. It has not made it to that point yet. So the light I'm looking at has not made it there yet.
So the confusion that you're having is the confusion that you're having is thinking about the light just from the object, but it's not just the object. The light of everything. So
from
the horizon.
Yeah.
No, but right. So the way that we see is because light comes to our eyes, right? Whether that's from a source or it's reflected off of something, the way that we see that is because the light is coming to our eyes. The light has come to our eyes not just from the mountain, but from the horizon, the ground all around it, everything that you see, not just the mountain, is affected by refraction. So everything that you see, the light coming from it only has to bend by 2 degrees for it to appear higher than you would expect.
Okay, but that still don't explain why there's not, there should be shadow. The shadow should reflect, block that light out. There's always a shadow. There's light
shadow.
Yeah. And the main source of light that's coming one direction is going to cast a shadow. Ain't that how the moon goes through its phases?
So shadows are.
If there's light coming from the sun in space and around stars, which we never see on NASA. Now, if there's light coming from the sun, and there's nothing to stop the sunlight, and it's lighting the moon up, how come the moon is lit? Don't illuminate the moon. It's not lit. If light on Earth can illuminate what ain't lit and bring things to our vision. Same, we gotta look through the same atmosphere. Light works the same.
So shadows are also refracted because shadows are just an absence of light that's been blocked. So the outline, which is the light that you see, is still refracted. So the shadows that are created are also refracted because it's still light that is coming to your eyes. Everything that you see you see it because the light has traveled a path to come to your eyes. And when the light goes through something like our atmosphere, it changes the path. You don't see things where they actually are. We see the refracted position of it, a virtual position of things. Everything that we look at through the atmosphere has traveled to us and had some kind of refractive effects applied to it. So just looking at it and going, well, here's the numbers, and it doesn't match, doesn't work because you have to take into account the physics of what is going on with the light.
You was in the Navy, right?
Yes, I was a nuclear engineer in the Royal Navy.
Did you ever shoot one of the guns? You ever target one of the guns?
I fired many guns. Yes.
Radar, they would look through their sights, their scopes, whatever they call them on there, the high-powered sights.
Yeah, that's not how you target things just by doing that. When you target things, you take into account. Yeah, but when you target things with a big gun, you take into account many things like the weather, the refractive conditions, the Coriolis effect. You don't just look at it and fire. You surely know that there is a whole bunch of things that the firing solution center has to do before it sends that targeting data to the gun, right?
No. You say there, then you shoot. You look to the left. Then you move up to the left. And you fire.
No, that's not certainly not when you're firing massive machinery on a Navy warship. The firing solution center gives those details to the gun. You don't just look at something and fire. All of the effects that need to be taken into account are taken into account by the firing solution center before they're taken to the gun.
In 1870, when was it made? Might have been made in the 1850s. The Mosin Nagant, 9130. It was accurate to 1,000 meters with the old 1850 model scope. They didn't open no book for Coriolis. They just out.
What was accurate to 1,000 meters? Sorry,
1,000 Mosin Nagant. It was the longest made military rifle, the longest made cartridge in military history. China took the
You know,
from Russia.
you do know that like snipers take.
That?
Yeah, 1 kilometer isn't that far. 1 kilometer, there's not many effects that you take into account. Snipers that fire over a kilometer. Hold on 1 second, sir. 1 second, please. Snipers that fire over a kilometer actually have to take into account many factors, such as the Coriolis and things like that, to be able to get an accurate shot. I can present to you the I can. Yeah, and you mentioned 1 kilometer. That's not very far. Over 1 kilometer, the speed the bullet's traveling, the effects aren't that much. But
the bear eye in a 1850, maybe an 1800.
With all due respect, sir, sir, with all due respect, you aren't actually listening to what I'm saying. That they didn't fire far enough. But hold on, dude.
Listen to what I'm saying. 1800s technology, early to mid 1800s technology.
But they didn't fire far enough.
No Coriolis effect.
They didn't fire far. You're not listening.
And a pow.
Yeah. So, like, can you listen for 1 sec? Can you listen? Can you listen for 1 sec? Yeah. Right. Can you listen for 1 sec? Right. Can you listen? All right. Stop. Can you stop 1 second?
Yeah.
Just 1 second. Right. So the guns you're talking about, they fired about 800 yards at the most. And at those distances, you don't need to take into account Coriolis because the effect is so minuscule. Modern weapons that fire much, much further have to take into account things like the Coriolis and the curvature of the Earth. Otherwise, they don't hit their target. Wait, let me finish. Have you ever fired a large gun attached to a warship?
Have you ever fired an 1870 model rifle with an
you obviously didn't. Once again, have you ever? So I asked you a very specific question. Have you ever fired a? Sir, please listen. Have you ever fired a large gun attached to a warship?
No, I haven't. But you was an engineer, and you said you thought they didn't shoot them guns either.
I never said that. I never said that. However. Right, give me 1 second. My stream's buffering. 1 second. 1 second. Just 1 second. 1 second. My stream's buffering. Just 1 second.
Don't pull a flat, George. I'm gonna be humble. Now you speak, and I get
doing anything that couldn't be classed as humble. I'm pointing out to you that the technology that you are talking about didn't fire far enough for these effects to be taken into account. Modern weapons that fire much further do take that into account. The weapon that you're talking about had a range of about 800 yards, not 1,000 meters.
Hold on.
Sorry guys, I've changed the settings. The buffering should be sorted.
This is not the sniper. This.
Yeah, and that does not fire a kilometer. No, it does not fire 1,000 meters.
Let me tell
that
you
weapon fires about 800 yards at the most.
Did you hear? Yeah. Now look, can I finish what I'm saying?
Sure. I'm just pointing out that weapon doesn't fire as far as you're claiming.
Will you let me tell you about my very own rifle, or are you going to tell me about my very own rifle?
No, I obviously know more about it than you. For instance, I know the distance it fires.
Dude. Now I said when I came in here, this was a short rifle. This is a carbine. See, you're telling me about my rifle, and you have no clue about my rifle.
No, I do. I know everything about that rifle. I'm a rifle buff.
Okay, what's the serial number? Because it got the sticky bolt. Do you know about the sticky bolt in the Moser?
Yeah, I do. But that rifle does not fire as far as you've claimed. Yeah. So just to be clear, I want you to understand this point. Well, 1 sec, please don't interrupt. Please don't ever talk me. 1 second. I'm trying to be respectful, sir. If you could just listen 1 second. Sir, if you could just give me 1 second, please. So if you could just give me 1 second, please. I'm trying to be.
I'm going to say something to the crowd. You can speak as soon as I cut you back on. Hold on. Let me say something to the crowd. I'll unmute you. Then I'll let you go on your tangent. Now.
No, I'm not going on a tangent. I would just like to say one thing, please.
I can't even talk to the crowd. Let's entertain the crowd. Now, this is how they are. You can't get a word in. They, you see, I've given him time to talk. See, he's
Yeah.
trying to.
I'm being polite, sir. I'm just trying to politely ask something, if that's okay.
Sir, now, let's let people talk.
Yeah, you absolutely should let people talk. Yes,
Let me
you should. Yes.
talking to the crowd. This is not just your crowd. This is not just.
Well, the three
crowd.
people watching on your channel, I'm sure, want to hear what you're saying. Yes.
You might desire these views and likes.
I'm being perfectly polite, sir. You keep interrupting me.
I don't like the views. I don't care. I want people. You say you ain't a belief in God. I'm respecting your beliefs, but you're trampling on.
No, I don't have a belief. I'm the opposite of beliefs. Yeah.
If people come by here and watch. They might not.
Please feel free to finish your rant, so then we get back to the conversation.
I do not draw circus shows. I want people to come here and hear the truth. Now, when I'm exposing the Christians because their hypocrisy, showing them they're no different than y'all. Now, you can go on about your rant, but you're going to stop and you're going to let me.
I didn't rant. I've been polite.
Dude, you need to. If you think this is polite, wow.
Oh, I've been very polite, asking you very politely if I can speak.
To shut up while you interrupt me? That's polite.
Well, you kept interrupting me, but anyway. What rifle do you have?
I got the 1953 Mosin Nagant. It's what was it? I don't remember the number.
1953.
Carbine. Model 44, model 41. You're breaking up, man. You got some bad technology. 44, something like that. Yeah, it's a carbine attached bayonet. The boat is the only thing with a different serial number.
Yeah.
It's got marks on it where it came from either Vietnam or Korea.
But what is the name of the gun? What is the name of the rifle?
It's a Mosin Nagant. I've told you that.
Mosin Nagant. I don't know how to spell that. Could you spell that for me, please?
Chinese made.
Yeah, could you spell it for me, please?
You want a dumb hit spell for you? M-O-Z-I-N.
Yes, I do. M-O... slowly start again. Sorry, you broke up. Start again. M-A-Z.
M-O-Z-I-N. M-O-Z-I-N.
Yeah, so if you could just do it calmly from the beginning. Did you say M-A-Z?
Mosin. M-O-Z-I-N. I'm giving your people something to laugh at.
Mosin. Yep, the next. So M-O-Z-I-N. Is that what you said?
No, I said M-O-Z-I-N.
Z, yeah. M-O-Z-I-N. And the next bit. Spell the next bit for me.
Nagant. N-A. G.
Yeah. Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
N.
Okay. Man's McGon range. So let me just check this.
Right,
thank you.
I got a spell for you so you can look it up.
Yeah. So just double check. So what did you claim the range of it was?
The 9130 meters.
No, like I said, it's 800 yards, about 500 meters. The maximum effective firing range up to 850 meters. However, accuracy significantly reduces. So it's strange that I was right about the rifle and you were wrong, considering you're the one with it.
Hold on a minute. Now, you got to speak, right? Am I going to get a chance to speak and tell you?
I mean, I've said a little bit. I've said one thing, which was pointing out how. No, you're interrupting me again. I just want to point out to everyone how he's interrupting me when I'm speaking.
Okay, you just go right.
Everyone can see he's interrupting me. Yeah. Thank you. So all I'm doing is pointing out how you are wrong about your own rifle when you claim it can fire 1,000 meters. It cannot.
Dude, now, can I talk now? Am I allowed to?
Yeah, fine. As long as you understand that point.
Hush. Let me complete from start.
You could speak to me like an adult. Please don't hush me.
Just listen to what I got to say.
Yeah, please go ahead.
You're reading from a site what they say. Have you ever,
I'm reading from the manufacturer, yes.
Yeah. Have you, from the manufacturer, Have you ever?
Yeah, the people that make those guns, yes. Yeah. According to the people that make those guns, they have an effective firing range of 450 to 500 meters, with a maximum firing range of 850 meters with significantly reduced accuracy. There is no way you'd be able to hit a target at 1,000 meters with that gun. Simply impossible. The bullet wouldn't be traveling fast enough.
Oh, is it my turn? Is it my turn?
Well, I did stop talking, yes. That's how conversations work. You wait for one person to finish, and then the next person goes on. Now, as I finished, yes, absolutely, it's your turn.
What's funny is, while you were talking, it was supposed to be my turn to talk, but yet you interrupted me, but I digress. Now, have you
Hashtag got a light of earth. Have I ever what, sorry?
Have you ever spoken to people that has shot in the 9130? No, you're reading from the manufacturer, not the people who actually go out and do the work with them. That's your problem.
Those people wouldn't fire at 1,000 meters because it wouldn't work.
Dude,
That gun does not fire 1,000 meters. It simply doesn't fire 1,000 meters.
Okay, you get to read from a site, right?
The manufacturer, the people that make the gun, I'm going to listen to them rather than somebody that didn't know the range of his own gun. Yes.
Good. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, I was supposed to be talking, but now, Chevrolet.
You asked me a question, I responded.
Yeah, but see, I was supposed to be talking, and you wasn't even supposed to be responding.
If you ask me a question, I'm going to respond. That's how conversations work in general.
No, usually, you said it was my turn to talk, and then you kept talking. But I digress.
Yeah, but you asked me a question. So when you ask a question, the other person answers. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask a question. It'd be pointless.
It was my turn to be talking. You shouldn't even been talking for me to ask you a question.
Well, if you don't want... Well, make sure you don't ask any questions, and I won't respond.
Can I talk?
I'm not stopping you.
Keep it that way. Now, you say you're going to listen to the manufacturer, and that's your proof. Chevrolet back in the 60s, 70s, the LS6 Chevelle, all it's got 300, maybe 400 horsepower, 450 horsepower. Manufacturer said 450 horsepower. You know what they dynoed them at? 550. You know why? So the people that got them from the manufacturer said they're 450 horsepower, carried them to a dyno. The people that actually bought them and used them, wow, they underestimate these cars from the factory. The manufacturer said 400.
Quick question.
No, you don't ask a question. I'm not done talking. Remember, I ain't asked no question yet.
Oh, sorry. Please carry on rambling.
The manufacturer said 450 horsepower. The ones that actually bought them and used them.
Yeah, Tetra. That's what I'm getting.
550. So
I just want to be clear. Oh no, you're still talking.
Just let me be clear. I'm not done talking. The people that buy them guns. The people that buy them guns go out and pop 1,050 yard shots. And you're going to
they don't.
It's a 3 MOA at 1,050 yards.
No, they don't. So just to be clear, just so you're aware, you might not be aware of this, but just so you are aware, cars aren't guns, and you don't compare the two. Okay, cool story. So anyway, even if... Oh no, it was my turn to talk. It's my turn to... no, it's my turn to talk right now. I haven't said you can... I haven't finished. I let you talk for about 9 years. It's now my turn. No, I'm not holding on. It's now my turn to talk. You stay there and listen. Oh, he's gone away. I'll wait till he comes back then. Kyle for $5 says thanks.
I can sit here and hear you since you're going to prove what I say. You people, I'm going to roll a cigarette while you continue talking. I can hear you. I can see you.
Yeah, cool.
You can see me.
Yeah. Carl for $5 says, thanks for what you do, Craig. You and Toon keep me company during some lonely days at work. Right, anyway, picks up or even if it doesn't, but even... Oh no, you interrupt. I got 5 words in. And you interrupted. Amazing. Good job there, bud. Even if it doesn't, but even if that gun fired 1,000 meters, that's irrelevant. 1,000 meters, as I explained, 1 kilometer, is not far enough to take into effects like the Coriolis. They'd be so minuscule over that distance it wouldn't make a difference. That's why when snipers fire over a kilometer, they take into account the Coriolis. It is in there in manuals. It is how they hit their shots. The world, the world championships, the professionals, the ones that actually do it for sport, use Coriolis and take it into account when they're firing over a kilometer. So to be clear, over a kilometer, you 100% have to take the Coriolis into account, and your gun does not fire over 600 meters.
Well, you just said it shot 800 meters. Now you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting.
Maybe you didn't listen to what I said. Maybe you didn't listen to what I said. An effective range of 450 to 500. A maximum range of 850 with significantly reduced accuracy. So we will talk about the effective range, which is between 4 to 500. Okay?
This is so fun, dude.
Oh, yeah, displaying idiots to the world is always fun. You're right.
Dude, really? You know, you're trying what Flatjoy did.
Oh, I'm not being anything like Flatjoy.
Remember? Told you. Remember? Yeah, you are. Now, remember I told you I don't want this to turn into a train wreck like first
Yeah,
one?
yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And
yeah.
here we go. And here we go. You're trying to direct the kingdom off onto a dirt.
Oh, no, sir. I've been tried to be completely polite, and you've constantly interrupted me and talked down to me. So you are the one deciding how this goes. Right, so anyway, you're wrong about the guns. What's your next bit of evidence that the Earth is flat and stationary?
Well, I was going to let you continue digging your hole. If you want to continue talking, I'm about done with this shit. I'm going to bring it over and smoke it. So if you got anything...
Well, no, I'm done debunking your gun nonsense. What's your next bit of evidence?
So you ain't listening to the man. You're listening to a person you've never seen on a website instead of people actually shoot these guns. Ranges, you say they're 3 MOA at 1,050 yards. That don't matter.
Yeah, anyway, what's your next bit of evidence that you've got that the Earth is flat and stationary?
Let's move on after your first.
Well, I didn't know. I explained how wrong you were using physics.
You just avoid everything that proves you wrong. That's how you people are.
Well, no, I explained how you were wrong using physics and explaining how up to 1 kilometer is irrelevant. No, but you obviously ignored all the words that were said and only heard the things that you wanted to. Standard flat Earth. No. Again, what is your next bit of evidence that the Earth is flat and stationary as you failed with the first one?
You read from a site what you was told.
Yeah. Move on. Next bit. What is your next bit of evidence? We're done with the guns. You've lost that one. We're moving on.
I'm telling you what people that actually use the things do with them.
And I'm telling you that that's irrelevant.
Irrelevant to what people say they do?
Hey, dude, just so you're aware, you're talking to a marksman. Okay, next bit of evidence, please.
A marksman?
Yes.
So a marksman...
I mean, the qualifications probably ran out now since I wasn't in the Navy for the past 20 years. But when I was in the Navy, I was a marksman.
Good for you. You know, I can pop things with a gun just as good, probably better. I just wasn't going to sell my soul to the government to use me as a murder machine. Now.
Yeah, you're too scared to serve, I understand.
Too scared to serve. Dude, you don't know nothing about life. Now let's get on
anyway, so what is your next bit of evidence? Yes.
Okay, we're still on this. We're not done with this. Now.
Oh, I explained to you about refraction, though. And did you understand everything I told you about refraction?
You read from a book a man wrote you've never seen.
No, I've tested refraction. I've actually tested refractive effects. Refraction is a thing that exists. Yeah, I have. I've done it many times. Refraction is a thing that exists. Do you understand that?
Yes. Okay. You want to go there?
So whenever you talk about anything like this, you need to include the refractive conditions that you are talking about. Otherwise, it's completely irrelevant and pointless and a straw man.
I told you, but you completely glossed over everything.
No, you didn't. You said it was slightly warm. That's not telling me the refractive effects, is it?
What I was looking at, it's obvious. your math fails. You're saying it reflects from
Well,
behind.
no, it doesn't. You need to take into account the refractive effect. You did not take into account the refractive effects.
Have you ever seen something appear from behind? No, here's
Yes.
here's the mountain. They're going to make that mountain appear flat. The math proves it ain't.
Yeah, that's how refraction works.
Common sense proves it ain't. The light, dude. Now you're saying it brings it straight up. It would carry it straight out. Because we're on a curve. Ain't it going to move 90 degrees from the surface? How come everything moves toward the top? Now, if it's
because that's how refraction works. Your ignorance of refraction is irrelevant to the discussion. Until you are aware. Stop 1 sec. Until you're aware of the physics of refraction, you're not qualified for this part of the discussion, and you should move on to something else.
Okay, have you ever built a house?
I've built many buildings.
Have you ever
I've not specifically built a house. I have built many buildings.
Okay.
I am. Maybe you don't know. I did explain this at the beginning. I am an engineer.
You was trained. Now.
Not only trained, but actually was an engineer in the Royal Navy and with a wind farm company. I am an engineer. Are you an engineer?
Boy, them windmills are like failures.
No, they're not windmills.
You said you was part of a windmill something?
No, I said I was part of a wind farm company. I was a project developer for Enertrag UK and helped create the infrastructure for wind farms in Scotland.
And wind farms require windmills?
No, they require turbines, not windmills.
And what is the powering operation to these turbines, and what does the wind use to push against this turbine to make it spin? What does it?
That creates. Do you not know how turbines work? They create a high pressure on one side of the blade because of the shape of the blade, which makes it rotate.
And it looks like a windmill, don't it?
Well, no, because a windmill is something that mills things in a big stone building. These are turbines.
Oh! So these things they plant out in California, these wind farms with these three-bladed devices that turn a turbine when the wind blows against them that we call windmills, ain't windmills?
No, they're not called windmills. They're called turbines. Get it right.
So it's the name. So it's the same thing, just a different name.
No, they're not the same thing. It doesn't. They don't mill anything. Windmills mill corn into flour. Wind turbines convert rotational energy to electrical energy.
Thank you. We're going to move on.
Right, but anyway, I'm going to answer your question about have you ever seen something come up from behind a hill? Yes, I have, and I'm going to show it to you now. So bear with me. Present. Share screen.
Oh, that's funny right there. You see him. Oh, it's not a windmill. It's a wind turbine.
They're different things. Yes. No, it doesn't look like a windmill. It looks like a turbine. Right, so you see the screen?
Do you think we actually use stone wheels to mill our grain over here?
That's what a windmill is. I never said that you do. I said that's what a windmill is. Are you okay?
I'm enjoying this. I told you I was going to have...
Anyway, do you see what I'm showing you on screen, yes?
Hold on, let me see. I'm going to make sure it ain't something...
Do you see what I am showing you on the screen, yes or no?
No, I don't. Please explain.
Well, please look at it. Are you seeing the screen I am presenting to you, yes or no?
I see a piece of lattice on the ground.
Right, excellent. Okay, this is evidence that things come up from behind hills with refraction. I want you to look at this can with bits of plasticine on it and pay attention to the colours. At the top there is, I'd say that's turquoise. In the middle there's red, and below that there's yellow. Do you agree with those statements?
If you say so.
Right, we're going to move on slightly and have a look at where they positioned the camera. Now, here we go. Would you agree that with this position of the camera, you can only see the turquoise part of the plasticine, even though we have shown that on that can there is turquoise, red, and yellow? Do you agree that at this point we only see the turquoise? Yes?
Let's go back to that picture where, hold on, go back to the picture where you show all the colors.
Right, back to the picture where we show all the colors. Here we go. Wait 1 sec. Get it to the right point. Right, there we go. So there's all the colors: turquoise, red, and yellow. Yes, you see those?
Why does the platform look like it's on a table? It looks flat. It don't look round.
That's irrelevant.
It looks flat. No, it is not either. No, it is not either.
Maybe you should pay. Maybe you shouldn't jump the gun and look that dumb. Pay attention to what's going on. So you agree that there is a green. You agree there is turquoise, red, and yellow. Turquoise at the top, red and yellow below it. Now, what he does is he goes behind this gas canister, which is round. Yes. And the only bit. Oh, yeah. So here we go. Now stop talking. Stop talking and pay attention. Right. So you agree that the gas canister. You agree that the tin with the plasticine on is behind something that is round, as though it is over the curve of the Earth. Yes.
Am I going to get to answer this?
Well, it's a yes or no question. Do you agree that it is the equivalent of something being over the curve of the Earth because it is hidden by this curved gas canister? Yes?
There's one thing I will agree with. That gas canister looks actually round. The other part didn't. When you told me to ignore one.
Well, yeah, that's irrelevant. The thing that is sitting on is irrelevant. Yeah, it is. What we're looking at is this round gas canister. We're looking at the round gas canister and the fact that the tin with the plasticine on is hidden behind the curve of the gas canister. Do you agree with those statements?
I will agree with what we saw at the beginning, was on a flat surface, and what I see here is on a round cylinder.
Right. Pay attention to what I am saying to you. Do you agree that the red... you're not listening. You're interrupting. It's going to be very hard for you to pay attention when you're interrupting. Okay? Do you agree that the red and yellow parts of plasticine are hidden behind the curve of the gas canister? Yes or no?
If you want me to agree to a deception, I'm not doing it.
There's no deception. Is the yellow and red parts of the plasticine hidden behind the curve of that gas canister? Yes or no?
What I see is a deception trying to be pulled. People ain't paying enough attention to detail like I did Maggie, and proved Maggie was false too. You're trying to call it deception.
It's a yes or a no question. Are the yellow and... Right, I'm gonna play it so you can watch what happens. Look where the red and yellow parts are, and look what he does. He hides them. No, stop talking and listen. Stop talking. Stop. Right. Look what he does. He hides the gas canister. He hides the canister with the plasticine on behind the curve of this big gas canister. So now at this point, the yellow and red are hidden behind the curve of this gas canister. That is a fact. Do you agree with that fact?
I'll agree with the fact where the camera is.
There we go. You agree with the fact. You agree with the fact that the yellow and red plasticine are hidden behind the curve of the gas canister.
I will agree with the fact. I will agree with the fact that if I was where the camera is, Mount Mitchell is where the green spot is, and I should not see Mount Mitchell. The red and the plastered stuff, I should not see Mount Mitchell. Thank you for proving what I said and trying to prove you're pulling off a deception.
Be mad, old man. Be quiet. I am talking. This is your turn to shut up and listen and be a good boy and try and behave. Now, everybody watching can see that the yellow and red plasticine are hidden behind the curve of that gas canister. What we are going to do is change the refractive conditions and make the bits that are hidden appear above the curve. exactly as refraction does. Now, please watch and pay attention. I know it's hard in your meth-addled state, but please do try.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, what he is doing here is called the laugh of stupidity and incredulity. It's a common defense mechanism of fucking idiots. Here we go, changing the refractive conditions by altering the density of the air, and watch what happens. The bits that are hidden, oh look, there they are! Oh, whoa, hold on. Where did that red come from? That's hidden behind the curve. But you change the refractive conditions, and boom! The bit that's hidden, it didn't get moved. All that happened is the path of light changed. When the path of light changed, you can see the red that was hidden. Whether or not you agree with this is irrelevant, but it's clear at this point that your brain has been too ruined by meth to even engage in a proper conversation. So from now on, you get FTFE because that's how you've decided how this goes, you absolute fucking moron.
dude, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna tell you something right now, and you're gonna shut up and you're gonna listen. You're gonna keep your language. I'm gonna big screen that, dude. You're gonna keep your.
I'll just keep on muting myself now. You don't get to talk to. You don't get to now have nice, Craig. You have gone past that point. You now get FTFE.
Let me tell you something, boy. You don't come here running that mouth like that. We talked at the beginning. We was not gonna make it a trainer. Look at your mouth, boy. Proved everything I said I was gonna prove about you. I was hoping you was actually humble, but you're YouTube. That is you. Thank you. But you're not going to come here using that foul language, running that mouth like that. Do you understand what I'm telling you? We talked humbly at the beginning, but boy, it didn't take you long to show your colors. I'm not done with what I'm going to say. If you want to download this and use it, feel free. But you're not going to start running your mouth like that. I tried treating you humble, and you're going to turn into a total devil. Now, let's continue with something. All you're going to do is like that. Oh, y'all shut up. Y'all can prove everything I've said about y'all. Now, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. See, he failed. He failed at everything he was going to try. He didn't piss me off. Now, let's get on to the stuff. See, now, that's what you call a tangent. That was a tangent. What he was doing, an abrupt change of direction. She went off on a tangent. Start talking about something that is only slightly or indirectly related to the original subject. He went off on a tangent. Because did you hear that circus show? Sound like, wow, he was so dramatic. Sure, you didn't take drama in the Navy? Because my gosh, I ain't heard that much drama. I quit watching movies for that cause. And you proved, hey, you did prove that objects behind the curve cannot be seen with that deception you was trying to pull off. See, Mount Mitchell should be behind the curve. I don't care. The light, and you told me, it don't matter which direction the light comes from. But you had to manipulate the direction of the light to get you to prove yourself. See, you had to manipulate your test. You proved, yeah, I shouldn't see Mount Mitchell 120 miles away, even with the tangent you went off on with your foul language. So thank you for that. You want to draw people's attention away when it looked like it was sitting on. No, it was on the earth, not sitting on a cooler behind the earth. You know, you're manipulating your test by having two separate objects. Mount Mitchell is on the tank, not sitting on a cooler behind the tank. That is a flawed test. You can chalk that test up in the same trash can that Maggie is. Maggie, if Maggie was a curve, we got a lumpy earth because showed you it looked like a wave. So there, you want people to just don't pay attention to the test. Just pay attention to what I tell you to pay attention to. Now, we got your tangent out of the way. Let's look at the astronaut. Let's look at the astronaut. He's floating. Astronaut is floating. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to mute my side. I'm going to share that. I'm going to mute my side. Well, y'all watch it. Watch him. I'm going to get that out of my way. I'm going to have to stop that for a second. Dismiss. Now I got to go back to share screen. Let's watch this. This astronaut just floated up to this shower. This astronaut just floated up to this shower. Enjoy this circus. I ain't going to have that filthy language. All right. This astronaut floated up to this shower. He's messing with a screw. Oh, he just dropped it. It went the opposite direction. It went 90 degrees. Sean Hawkins and his buddy said it was spring loaded. Well, if it's spring loaded, it would have come straight at the camera, not straight down. All right. Gravity, Eratosthenes. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Yes. Eratosthenes. I do it in the living room floor. Y'all know who Eratosthenes is. He proved it. We're reading about it. Yeah. Look yonder. That's my living room floor. This is my living room floor. See that dog? He's walked over the hump just now. See how his shadow changed? So the dog even proved it. And that was live action. We got to see the shadow change. We got to see actually where the curve of the earth was. Oh, look yonder. And then you got to add another bottle. So yeah, I got a big hump on my floor right here. Just about right here is where the hump is. About right there where the hump is. About the middle of them two middle bottles. So flat surface has shadows going in the opposite directions. Now this is a good one right here. Yeah, he said sunlight is warm. Reflected light has heat in it, but moonlight don't. Moonlight's actually cool. So y'all enjoy this. I was wanting to get to this. See, I was really wanting to get to all this humbly, like a man. But see, we didn't even get that far. He couldn't control his mouth. The devil in him came out. The devil was trying to get my devil to come out, and it didn't work. He admits reflected light has heat in it. I proved, no, it don't. Because if the moonlight is reflected light, it should have heat in it. But see, this is the very same test. Sunlight to the truck shadow. There's a difference. This test, well, when I went from the truck shadow to the moonlight was cooler. Oh, no, it don't work. How come there's no complaints about this one? There's the very same test. Testing the sunlight here. There's the truck shadow. I go down here. I test the moonlight and I test the truck shadow. Opposite results from this test. And we know reflected light has heat in it. So enjoy all that. Now, that was the other piece I was wanting to get to. Now, let's go look at what science says. Him, Hangman 1128. I said, my beliefs are in the Lord, not the Bible, the Word of God in the Bible. 3 minutes. We're coming up on that. Let's go big screen. Yeah, let's go back here. That right there is what they call tectonic plates. Yeah, you can actually still, these chunks are broke off, and you can actually see the color of the wood and the wood grain. Now, if you've ever been beyond the front door of your dwelling and been out in the woods, you will see stuff like this. You ain't going to see stuff like this unless you go to Hangman 1128. These are mountains. You can see the wood grain, that's cedar. That is what they call mountains. That is a biblical tree. That is what I climbed up and showed Mount Mitchell. Mount Mitchell is a biblical tree. So yes, the mountains around here, this mountain this fellow's at, this is in Montana maybe. Now he actually goes outside and climbs mountains. Him and his two pits. There's a mountain lion in this. Mountain lion was close to him. But yeah, this is a biblical tree. And you can tell it's a tree by looking at it. And see, these are real chunks of wood. So you can see it's the same as we get. That would be broke off out of here. That is the very same thing. It's just the chunks that break out. Now, since we've shown tectonic plates in the science books are wrong, let's go on to melted buildings. I am sharing that screen. Yes, I am. Now, science will tell you tectonic plates made this. Well, and they'll tell you man used copper chisels. And if you know anything about building or anything about anything, you know if you take something solid and beat a copper chisel against something solid, you're going to have you a copper coin. You really think copper was a chisel? Cold chisels I got, they're hardened steel. You start beating on a copper chisel, you're going to have a coin. You're going to beat the piece of copper flat. I mean, really? My textbook says in 2 Peter 3:10 and 12, when the Lord comes back, the elements of the earth shall burn, and the works therein shall be burned. The elements shall melt, and the works therein shall be burned up. This right here is a building that has been melted. See, buildings from ancient civilizations are melted. And my textbook says in Psalm 97:5 that the hills shall melt in the presence of the whole Lord, and everything is in the earth shall melt. This right here, see, they got these nice arches. They can have 90 degrees. You think this was carved by a copper chisel? Really? How can you carve a perfect arch with a copper chisel in a mountain? This is melted elements. Amos 9:1 and 5. What does the Bible say about melted buildings? All the elements therein and the work shall be burned up. Look at the burn marks on these melted buildings. But they say they were carved out of rock with copper chisels. No, you ain't going to carve rock with copper chisels. Now, before they were burnt, they're now petrified. We're going to get to this here in just, we just got that in petrified trees. Now, you can see the burn. Now, don't you think it'd be easier to carve that out of wood before it was petrified? Yeah, this was probably a tree. And they carved their temples like Petra. You know, Petra? See, these are like Christmas tree candles that have melted. Flatzoid, he said he's a flat earther. But yet he can look at this and say, no, them were carved with copper chisels. Really? It's like you flat globe earthers believe. Y'all think this was carved with copper chisels. No, because I will tell you, when the Lord came back with fervent heat, we had melted cities. Look yonder. That city is completely burnt. You're saying they carved these columns and perfect 90-degree windows and doors with a copper chisel against granite? You really think a copper chisel can carve this column in a solid piece of granite? Really? Well, my textbook says this melted when the Lord stepped back on the earth in the presence of the whole earth. Now, when the Lord steps back, the Lord of the whole earth, crap, the earth shall melt in the presence of the whole earth. So, science says one thing, we say. My textbook says another. Now, my science book says when the Lord comes back, okay, the Mount of Olives, which is the east of Jerusalem, east of Jerusalem. So if you're above looking down at Jerusalem, east of it is where the Mount of Olives is. Now, my Lord comes back, says when he steps foot in the Mount of Olives, it shall cleave in the midst, toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a great valley, and half the mountain shall move to the north, and half the mountain shall move to the south. I believe that's what it says. But there shall be a great valley east of Jerusalem when my Lord steps back on the earth. Now, we've seen the melted buildings. Now, great, grand and great is a synonym. Imagine that. Canyon is a valley. Imagine that. Well, look at there. If you're looking down at Jerusalem and you look to the east, you see the Mount of Olives. What did my book say would happen to the Mount of Olives when my Lord came back? It shall cleave. Now, oh, that was a river. Really? Let's go back to that. This whole state, this whole area has the same bedrock. That river ran through that state, Arizona, for the longest time, and it continued on. But in that one little bitty spot, it carved out. So the bedrock in that one little bitty spot, well, after it carved it out, how did it climb back up? Because if that's the only spot that was carved out, what happened to the other end of it? The Grand Canyon only runs so far, then the river comes out of it. The Grand Canyon don't run all the way to the end of the river. So, what happened to the rest of the state? They coming there with grading machines? My textbook says the Grand Canyon is the very great valley that is east of Jerusalem. There we go. That's what my textbook says. Okay. My textbook says the earth shall melt. And these fellows prove what I'm saying. They get a kick out of it. And that's all I want to present. And I'm sorry it happened that way. I don't get a joy out of it. But it proved exactly what I thought. I was hoping he was going to be humble this time. Once he started showing Davy drama, all they want to do is put on a circus and see if they don't want to agree. Because if they do, all that money they get from the people that love to push the hate dries up. So they got a lot to lose. I have nothing to lose. I'm not going to sit on here and insult the boy, talk trash about him. I'm just going to let him expose exactly what he is. And the people that love that stuff, they expose who they are. With the white throne judgment coming up, either these people are so blind, I'm praying for them, or they're so evil, I'm praying for them, Lord. Because we just sat here and saw somebody get so mad over nothing. Over nothing. There was no reason to act like that. Praying for you too, dude. And you're that's what Flatzoid does. That's what Rachie does. That's what this whole YouTube community of hate does. You say nuh-uh, and in your mind and your followers' minds, that's all the proof you need. All you gotta say is nuh-uh. And you prove it. And your people are proving it. It didn't work, did it? You didn't piss me off. Thank you, Lord. Praying for you, dude. Praying for all you people too.